Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our dinner. If you are feeling a little crowded in this room, it's because that's a good thing. We are a very growing chamber, and so we are outgrowing all of our spaces. We always start our board meetings with a what national day is it? You know, is it National Cherry Pie Day? Is it National whatever day? Well, just for your information, it's National Pigs in a Blanket Day. So, but I'm sure you won't find that on our menu tonight, and I hope that you'll enjoy your dinner. I'd like to now introduce to you our Executive Director, Krista Lundy.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I have a few people I would like to introduce before we have dinner, and the first people are some very important people, and we've had a very stressful week, and I thank them at every event, but especially this week, our chamber staff. First, I would like to thank Karen Stout, Communications Coordinator, Josh Sheritz, our Finance and Technology Coordinator, and Corey Young, our Administrative Assistant on Administrative Professionals Day, and Eileen Mullen, our Program Coordinator, Crawford County K-12 Career Education Alliance. So could those four people please stand? Thank you so much for all that you do for the chamber. And I know many of you in this room have a board of directors or are on a board of directors. I am privileged to have an incredible board of directors that is supportive and appreciative of what I do and what the chamber does, and really, really goes above and beyond and is very appreciative of what we do as a chamber team. So if those in the room that are chamber board members could please stand, I would like a round of applause for the following people. Deb Pavlik, Marie Phelps, Beth Zewe, Jennifer Mitchell, Becky Arbuckle, Bonnie Kuhn, Carolyn Hall, Christine Yamrick, Dan Continenza, Dave Astry, Diane Kerr, Glenn Thompson, James Slater, Jeff Miller, Mark Smith, Megan Bobka, Mike Folk, Pete Murphy, Rob Smith, Tony Boca. Thank you so much to all of you that could be here this evening. We have several chamber trustees in the room, and I thank you for all that you do and your continued support over the years, whether you've been a chamber trustee for years or whether you've just become a chamber trustee. So thank you to Ainsworth for being our platinum trustee. We have several diamond trustees. We have Chanlock. We have Ruby trustees in Accutech, Allegheny College, Pipeline Systems. Our Sapphire trustees are Bayshore Homes, Erie Bank, First National Bank, HBK, Key Bank, Marquette Bank, Meadville Medical Center, Mercer County State Bank, Northwest Bank, Northwest REC, and PNC Financial Services. Thank you to these many organizations who continue to support the chamber throughout the year. We have a few distinguished guests in the room. A big round of applause for a few past Raymond P. Schaefer Award recipients that are with us this evening. 1997, Mr. Clark Hoffman. Please stand, Clark. 2003, Paul Huber. 2004, Richard Burkhart. 2016, Charlie Anderson. And thank you to all of you who are here attending, whether you are a community member, a chamber member, and all of the many elected officials that are with us. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Please help me in welcoming Mr. Dave Roncolato for our invocation.
Please join me in a moment of prayer. Oh, good and gracious God, we give you thanks for this evening, for the gathering of this remarkable community, Crawford County of Meadville, for this evening as a chance to pause from our work of production, of education, of service, pause to celebrate the civic vitality and commitment of so many here in this room to make this a very special place to live and to work, to raise families, to educate. We pray, Lord, that you help us to just take time to notice, to interact, to give thanks, to express our care and love for one another in this very special evening tonight. We thank you, Lord, for all who work to prepare our meal. Remember those who go without tonight. Thank you for all who work so hard to make this such a special evening. And especially, Lord, we give you thanks for those who have been beacons of light for us for years past, showing us what it means, leading us, guiding us as people of your spirit. People like Marie Hamilton and Art Kekullen, the Reverend Arthur Crawford and Kit Lang and Jonathan Helmreich, people like Lou Davies and Clark Hoffman and Dr. David Kirkpatrick and Denny Watson and Pauline Mooney, Ed Edinger, Abe Fenton, Paul Hubert and Dick Burkhart and B.J. Smith, Charlotte Thomas, people who have been lights along the path, visionaries for us, Calvin Ernst, Cootie Harris and Richard Cook, Ellie Davies, Dwight Haas, Chuck Swick, John Anderson, Dr. John Nesbitt, Jack Thompson and Amara Geffen and Doug Burdick, Charlie Anderson, Kent Brace. We give you thanks for their leadership, their service. We give you thanks for this evening. May this be an evening that gives you glory. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Fellow businessmen and women, award nominees, government officials, distinguished guests, and friends, good evening and thank you for coming. For those of you I have not had the pleasure of meeting, I am Marie Feltz, and I'm the owner of Decorating Den Interiors in Meadville. As Vice President of your Meadville, Western Crawford County Chamber of Commerce, which is a lot of mouthful there, it is my distinct pleasure to call this our 211th annual meeting and dinner of our Chamber of Commerce to order and present to you the state of our organization. I am happy to report the state of our chamber is very strong. Since we convened as a membership last April, we have added 62 businesses to our ranks, several of which have joined as part of opening their doors for the first time. Krista Lundy, our executive director, and her dedicated staff work endlessly to increase these numbers. They offer the most value possible to each and every one of you, be it assistance in locating information, help making connections with customers and vendors, or providing quality programming to educate our business community. The Chamber can boast a busy and exciting year. We added an annual gala to the event calendar in 2018, allowing for an opportunity for members to network, bring warmth to our otherwise dreary January, and highlight our Leadership Meadville program, of which this event, in part, was a fundraiser for. In March, our local restaurant community was highlighted in the 9th annual Chili Chowder Soup Cook-Off. This event encouraged over 500 community members to try the best comfort food available in our region. We're thrilled to say several of those in our audience tonight participated in some fashion. This year marks the 10th anniversary of Thunder in the City. We're proud to say we have been able to host a classic car and motorcycle show, bringing 8,000 to 10,000 people to downtown Meadville each year for a decade, while maintaining a family-friendly atmosphere. This anniversary year, we are thrilled to feature 10 local bands, more family-friendly attractions, and a motorcycle stunt show. It's amazing to think the work we do has brought over 100,000 people directly to our community and our community businesses in the last decade throughout this one event. Finally, it's exciting to have you all here this evening to celebrate the successes of our colleagues, neighbors, and friends. Many of you have started or expanded your businesses in the last year. We could not be happier for you, and please know, regardless of who takes an award home, all our nominees are deserving of these honors and more. Enjoy the evening, and thank you for our continued support of your Meadville, Western, Crawford County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marie. And at this time, please help me welcome Eileen Mullen from the Chamber Foundation to give you an update on her program that she runs. Thank you, Eileen. This is something new that we're doing this year, having Eileen give you an update on her program, because I think a lot of the people in the audience do not know about the Chamber Foundation, all that we do, and all that Eileen does in our community. So welcome, Eileen. I'm very glad to have you be a part of the program this year.
Thank you. Thank you, Krista. The Crawford County K-12 Career Education Alliance falls under the auspices of the Chamber of Commerce Foundation. It serves the 3 districts this side of Crawford County, the western side, Conneaut, Pencrest, and Crawford Central. We offer career exploration activities, events, summer camps, and support the existing career curriculum that's already happening in the schools. I work with guidance counselors and some teachers, businesses, community partners, to provide these great career exploration activities. The Career Education Alliance relies on community partners and volunteers, many of which are in the room tonight. We do serve over 3,000 students a year. I want to thank you to all of you who are in the room that have volunteered for one of our programs. I do want to mention some of the programs. We have multiple, but I think it's important to highlight some of the things that we've done with our local students. We do in-class presentations on work ethic, on resume writing, on filling out job applications, on job search and goal setting, interview skills, and mock interviews. Right now in our county, this side of Crawford County, every senior, almost every senior in all 3 school districts have had a mock interview experience, thanks to all of the volunteers in our community. We do employer panels with local HR reps, career panels. We've just done engineering, healthcare, apprenticeships, and business. Post-secondary pathway presentations where we explain the difference between a 4-year degree, a 2-year associate's degree, a career school, and a technical school with our post-secondary partners, LTI, Edinburgh University, PMI. We also do career days for students on the autism spectrum because we believe everybody is employable. Career fairs, field trips to local manufacturers, post-secondaries, as well as the hospital. After-school mentoring clubs, industry clubs. We do a STEM camp also with our local post-secondaries, LTI, PMI, Edinburgh University, and Allegheny College in June for 7th and 8th graders. We do a career camp for with the VOTEC. We do 13 different programs in June that 7th and 8th graders can come and explore the possibilities of future careers. We had 22 students, 7th and 8th graders, welding last year, doing precision machining, culinary, health careers. We do an Educator in the Workplace program where we bring teachers in to different businesses. It's actually happening tomorrow night, and we have over 60 educators coming to Starn Tool to come in to our tool and die shop and have a very good conversation afterwards about how to prepare our students for the future. We also have on May 10th, I collaborate with the CTC and OVR for a program called Bridging the Gap, which is dispelling the myths of hiring employees with disabilities. I've partnered also with NWIRC to do CAT in the Classroom, as well as What's So Cool About Manufacturing, which we're going to be doing next year, which is a video contest. We're very excited about that. Those are just some of the programs that we offer. I can't go through all the programs that we offer because Krista told me I only had 5 minutes. So, but then Andy Walker mentioned that he would like me to talk longer. So, thank you for that, Andy. I appreciate that window, and I will take it. I do want to say, thank you. I do want to say, as I look out here of all of you tonight, that tonight is a night of celebrating our careers. It's a night of celebrating our businesses and our agencies and our services. And we're surrounded by people tonight who excel in their job, who excel in their careers. And I think most of us are happy in our jobs. We wake up every day with purpose. We go to our job. We do a good job. We're proud of what we do. We come home feeling fulfilled. We're proud of what we've accomplished. Not every day, but most days we're proud of this. And that's what I want to share with the students. I want them to have a sense of fulfillment and pride in the job well done. I want them to choose something they're interested in and they're good at. And I want them to be proud of the service or the product that they create. But I need all of your help. You are all experts in your community. We rely on you as volunteers to share your journey, your story, and your expertise. I've connected with so many of you that are chamber members that at this time, can I have everybody stand up that's ever been connected with any of my programs? Whether you've done mock interviews, I've toured your business, you've done post-secondary presentations. Can everybody stand up that has been even a part of it? I see some of you not standing up. There's so many of you. There's so many of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As we sit here tonight celebrating our commitment to our career and to our businesses, let's not forget to take time out of our workday today to help educate, guide, and mentor the workforce of tomorrow. Thank you.
At this time, another one of our programs I would like to have featured. If you could please help me welcome Marlene Jenkins, the Leadership Meadville Facilitator. She'll talk about our Leadership Meadville program. Marlene, out! Somehow I knew that was going to be the end or the beginning.
Thanks, Kristen.
Absolutely.
Yikes, this doesn't really work all that well for me. Could you hold this? Sure. You see, when you present, you actually want to have eye contact with your audience. However, in talking with Leadership Meadville participants, one of the first things that I say to them is, if you have a quote, always read it. Leadership continuously achieves common goals by cultivating individual strengths and inspiring collaboration. Here's to LM8, their leadership statement. In the 8 years that Leadership Meadville has been around, we have had over, I know I'm coming at you, we have had over 125 participants, many of which are in this room tonight. You know who you are. I'd love you to stand up. I'd love you to stand up. You make me so proud. Thank you. And of those 125 participants that have gone through the program, over 40% are currently on board of directors, serving on committees, and are in leadership positions. Congratulations for giving back to your community. At this time, I would like to say to you, always know that you are strong. Then in everything that you do, you stay stretched and you keep your eyes centered. To you.
A couple more things about that Leadership Meadville program. We have two sponsors, particularly of our program, that we could not continue to keep the cost low for our attendees in the program. It is only $600 to be a part of this program. There are leadership programs all over the country with different chambers that are thousands of dollars to be. Ours is only $600, and that is possible through the Chili Chowder Soup Cook-Off to give scholarships, through donations of different businesses that cover cost of breakfast and lunches, and in particular, our premier sponsor of the program in Bethesda Lutheran Services. So thank you so much to you. George Crowner and several of the people in and at Bethesda have been very, very gracious and supportive of the program. There are people on the committee, there are people currently in the class, there are several alumni. You not only monetarily support the program, you volunteer. You just hosted the first Key Club workshop that we had for Key Club advisors and students from 5 different school districts. 5 or 6, was it, Marlene? 6. 6 different school advisors and key clubs from around the school districts that you had at Bethesda. And it was a fantastic workshop for these students to learn. So thank you so much for having that. Thank you for all that you do for the program and continuing your support of the program and keeping that cost low for all the attendees. We really, really appreciate your support. Lincoln Recycling is another one of our supporters, and we can sincerely appreciate all of their support as well. But one big thank you that we have, many of you in the room may not know this, but I have something that I really would like to read here without getting choked up about it. Karen, if you could get something for me, please. Thank you, Marlene. Marlene has been the premier person for this program. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I have to say a few words, not about the program, but on Marlene Jenkins, the program facilitator. 8 years ago, the Chamber broadened its programming to include a heavier focus on workforce development, adding Leadership Meadville to our offerings. Marlene assisted my predecessor in its organization, and since that time, she has dedicated countless hours and resources helping us broaden the program, enhance its community connections, find new partners, and has become not only its fearless leader, but has built a legacy of leadership in our community. Although Marlene has decided to make this her last year as the program facilitator, we appreciate her dedication more than you can ever imagine and wish you the best as you continue on in your further personal and professional endeavors. At this time, on behalf of the Leadership Meadville family, all of the alumni in the room, I would like to thank you for your investment, personally and professionally, for all of us. You have made on the Chamber, our members, and yearly a decade of current and future leaders in our region. Thank you very much. This recognition award presented to Marlene Jenkins in appreciation for your years of dedication and commitment to the program and our community, April 25th, 2018. Leadership Meadville.
Already in the house.
You know it.
At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Jack Davies.
Thank you, Chris. Marlene's a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
But in many respects, this is a great place in the program because to continue the spirit of giving back to your community and community engagement, I'm really proud to be here for the 13th presentation of the Lou and Ellie Davies Award for Outstanding Community Service. This award was designed to shine a spotlight on the Allegheny College student that has done the most to give back to the Meadville community during their time at Allegheny. And it's a very special award, not only to the student, but meant a lot to our family because community engagement was a core value. Now, I've got to do a fairly precarious thing and try to make my way back to a projector back here, so please indulge me. I think Phil Donahue got his start this way. You old enough to remember, and if you can't remember, ask your parents. This is a low-budget operation, so we have one microphone. So Allegheny College prepared this video, short video, tribute to my parents, and I thought I want to hear from them in their own words.
Who is this fellow Lou Davies? John Llewellyn Davies, or Lou, or Mr. Perseverance? Well, when I think of him, I think you find that he has the following qualities among many others. A warm and engaging personality, which makes his company a pleasure. He's a devoted husband and father, a devoted family man. He possesses sound qualities of courage mixed with a sense of values that no free society can really progress without.
One's volunteer work is not for personal glory. I'm going to repeat that. One's volunteer work is not for personal glory. It's a dedication of whatever abilities God has given you to help other people. When you do that and are successful, that's where the real satisfaction lies.
Well, Lou was an example. He was like Mr. Meadville. He was determined he was going to give back to his community, and he'd take a lot of these big jobs, and I'd do all the work. That's the inside story.
Ellie and I, for 55 years, have always worked as a team.
There's a reason people flocked to her. When Aunt Ellie walked into the room, it's like the sun itself walked in. Everyone wanted to stand in her radiance. She made everything fun. Being near her to me always felt like a surprise party right before the surprise. That excitement, that joy, that expectation. There could be 10 people standing around her, but when she turned to you, you felt like you were the only person in the room. She gave you your full attention. She pulled you in. She held your hand. She put her arm through yours. And you felt special.
After Lou's passing, Ellie and Jack and Steve and Dave honored his deep commitment to both Allegheny and Meadville by establishing the Davies Community Service Leaders Program in 2004, a signature program for our college. The Davies program has become a national model, as it has enabled multiple generations of Allegheny students to work in a meaningful way with over 30 local organizations of all kinds.
One day over the summer, Ellie and I spent a whole afternoon walking around town passing out flyers for an event that we were promoting for the Redevelopment Authority. I was amazed at how many people she knew. Looking back, I am so grateful for that day, because after that stroll with Ellie, I no longer felt that I was an outsider from Allegheny College, but instead, I felt that I had become a part of the fabric that makes up the Meadville community.
The first time I met Ellie, she picked me up at my dorm in her car so we could see the changing leaves. That day, I learned how proud Ellie was to be part of the Allegheny and Meadville community. I shared my dreams for the future with her and felt nothing but warmth and encouragement in return. To this day, every time I see the changing leaves, I think of Ellie.
That's the only thing I stress, that you give of yourself to others and you'll get more back in return. The only other thing is that you younger people, dream what you want to do and do it.
I will say it was a little hard for me to get through that the first time I saw it. Slightly easier this time. As you can see, a commitment to community service runs deeply in our family, and my brothers and I try to continue that legacy to this day in our own community, but also in helping the Meadville community. So it's a particularly poignant event tonight because this is the first time since the award was created that my mom has not been alive. She attended every one, even one time coming directly from the hospital. Last year she was in the hospital and couldn't make it, but we're committed to keeping on the tradition, and the best way to carry on the tradition is by honoring some of these Allegheny College students. The award, as I mentioned, was created to shine a light on their accomplishments. To date, we've had 41 honorees from Allegheny College for their outstanding service to the community. My dad was a proud graduate of Allegheny College and a member of the Board of Trustees, and along with my mom, tirelessly advocated for students to be more involved in the Meadville community. He hated the separation between town and gown, and with the help of Richard Cook and Jim Mullen, the college has been a major supporter of that. As Jim mentioned, this has become, the Davies Community Leader Program has become a signature program, but overall, that isn't the only program at Allegheny. And last fall alone, 1,076 Allegheny College students contributed over 15,000 hours of community service in Meadville. The Davies Community Leader Program now, we have had 21 leaders this year, bringing the total to 197 students that have worked in different nonprofits, the United Way, the Meadville Area Recreation Complex, the Center for Family Services, and many others. Until this year, my mother met with every one of those individual leaders. This represents a cumulative funding commitment between our family and Allegheny of over $600,000. The award was established to honor that person who had the biggest impact. What makes it unique is that it's based on nomination from local organizations who identify students that work for them that had both gone above and beyond the call of duty and also had really demonstrated a significant accomplishment in their job. This was judged by Jilly Ford, representing the President's Office of Allegheny College, City Manager Andy Walker, Leroy Stearns, Mayor of Meadville, and myself. We all tried to channel my mother's instincts in all of this, since she was a really important part of this process since the inception. So the winner will receive a check for $500, the runner-up will get $250, and we had many outstanding nominees, but there were two nominees that really stood out from the pack. So I'd like to invite our finalists to come forward, as well as my brothers, to tell you a little bit more about them.
Thank you, Jack. I love the quote, volunteer work is not for personal glory. It's great to hear Dad's voice and commitment to Meadville, and I really have to chuckle about how Mom had to do all the work. We have two nominees tonight. Kristen Gear, on my immediate left, is a senior psychology major from Avon, Ohio, who will be pursuing graduate work at Kent State University next year. For the past 3 years, she has been an enthusiastic teacher and role model at the Martin Luther King program at the Meadville Middle School. She's gone above and beyond in the creative ways that she's mentored students to improve their reading skills, include integrating the arts, leading field trips, and engaging their parents. Over 3 years, she's mentored over 50 students, many of whom have made the honor roll or significantly improved their grades. Recently, she planned a remarkable event called Beloved Community, where participants were given passports to learn about opportunities from over 60 community organizations. Kristen wrote in their statement of commitment, and I quote, "I have never witnessed a community as dedicated to Meadville as is community involvement and improvement. I have come to love this city, but more importantly, its people." Sarah Nathan, on Kirsten's left, is a senior from Toledo, Ohio, who has a double major in environmental studies and community and justice studies. Since she was a freshman, Sarah has been engaged in Meadville, first as a Bonner leader and later as an unpaid volunteer. As she put in her statement of commitment, her passion is how food underlies human flourishing, physically, socially, and emotionally. Sarah expanded volunteer participation at the Stone Church Soup Kitchen. She doubled student donations to Shop the Shelves food drive. She's played a behind-the-scenes leadership role in the wonderful community garden at the Mark. Mom would have loved how she helped over 40 gardeners not just grow flowers and vegetables, but come together as a community. Sarah wrote that she has never felt such a strong sense of belonging that she has in Meadville and has become so attached that she plans to stay here and live after graduation. That's something Dad in the great hereafter is getting two thumbs up for. I now turn it over to my brother Dave to make the official announcement.
Thanks, Steve. So for the first time since 2006, the Lou Davies and Ellie Davies Award for Outstanding Community Service has 2 winners. Congratulations to both Kristen Gear
Where are the awards? Where are the awards? We need the awards. There they are. One. Pick the one that works. Sarah. There's your envelope.
Thank you, Kristen.
We actually channeled my mom on that. I was like, what would Ellie do? And I think the conclusion was they were so great, we had to have them both be winners this year. So we're going to do a brief photo opportunity now, and then we're going to let them sneak out and go back to their classes. But this is really a joy to have young people like this in the Meadville community that are adding value, and those that want to stay, and many of them have. So thank you very much. We'll give them one more round of applause.
This way.
You're gonna look at me real quick.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
He's not gonna feel himself.
And now we will begin with our Chamber Diamond Awards for the evening. You do have all of the award nominees in your programs if you would like to look at those, but we will give you a little bit more information about each of them, and all of last year's award recipients will come forward and award this year's winners. I will start with the 2018 Ambassador of the Year. At this time, if I could have all of our chamber ambassadors stand, and Pete Murky is our ambassador chairperson. This is a group of individuals that meets monthly to help promote the chamber. I have no one standing. I know some of you are in the room. These are the people that you see at the ribbon cuttings, at the grand openings. They are the ones that help with all of the events, helping to sell 50/50 tickets, being the greeters at all of the events that we have and so forth. They help make my job a lot easier, so thank you so much for all that you do. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And we've had a lot of ribbon cuttings and grand openings in the last year, so they have been very, very busy. We do have a point system because these people help me with getting new members. They get me information and I go and talk to potential members, so that counts as points, and attending ribbon cuttings, grand openings, and open houses, all of that kind of thing. It's not that I'm just choosing someone to be an ambassador of the year. There actually is a point system. But please help me welcome this year's Chamber Ambassador of the Year, who you see at most of our events, greeting you. They've probably sold you maybe a winning 50/50 ticket or just a 50/50 ticket. You've heard this person on the radio as one of our LM Talk co-hosts. They are a Leadership Meadville alumni and a dear chamber friend. Please help me welcome Mrs. Amanda Keller. As Amanda is coming forward, some of our past winners are Eileen Mullen, Dave Astry, Pete Murky, and Tony Boca. So congratulations to those past winners as well.
Congratulations.
She's speechless. We actually have a new award this year because we have so many new businesses that have been opening. And with the awards that we currently have, you have to be a member for at least 3 years, being a business or a nonprofit. So we had to create a new award, which is a good problem to have. So the new businesses that were nominated are the following. Blossoms and Blooms Boutique. In under 1 year, Blossoms and Blooms Boutique has done great things for the Lionsville community and Western Crawford County as a whole. Travis and Judy have over 40 years of combined experience and are breathing life into Lionsville by using their business as a driver for community impact, hosting local concerts, supporting several fundraisers, and providing educational lectures to groups and nonprofits in our region. This mother and son partnership is the only florist serving Western Crawford County and Eastern Ashtabula County. They're expanding as of next week to be the new owners of Loeffler's Flowers and Gifts to offer services and community support in Meadville as well. Congratulations. Next, we have Bull Moose Progressive Marketing. This progressive in Bull Moose marketing, as well as the Bull Moose, are a nod to the Bull Moose Progressive Party of the early 20th century, which strove to use technology and innovation to solve social problems. Oh my goodness. Their mission statement is to make our community a better place to work and live by driving business growth and inciting social change through responsible marketing. They work with local colleges and technical schools to partner with their marketing classes, speak on careers in the industry, and hire interns to round out their studies with real-world experience. Bull Moose is proud to support numerous local causes, including assisting the Historical Society with their marketing, helping My Meadville format their community network analysis results, donating to the Salvation Army, the Multiple Sclerosis Association, and much more. Foundry Co-work. Co-working is a style of work that includes a shared environment but individual activity. The Foundry Co-work is a shared space in the Parkside Commons where businessmen and women do just that. Their goal is to showcase and house a variety of professionals from the community to give individuals the opportunity to connect, outsource share resource skills, and finally, to act as a community collaborative space. The space allows for nonprofits to communicate with each other, emerging entrepreneurs a space to get started, freelancers a space to find more work, and students a place to work in the community. The Foundry contributes and engages with events and organizations like the Meadville Chamber, Meadville Independent Business Alliance, Second Saturday Community Market, and the Northwest PA Investment Co-op, just to name a few. Last but not least, we have the Woolen Mill. The Woolen Mill opened on June 10th, 2017. They utilized local contractors. It took 6 months of renovations, support from the City of Meadville, the Redevelopment Authority, and support from the community to significantly add to the beautification of downtown Meadville while also creating that wow shopping experience. Since opening, the Woolen Mill has focused on becoming a valued community asset and partner. They participated in the Catwalk on Chestnut, Ladies' Day Out, the Survivors Fashion Show at Vernon Place, Allegheny College's Boardwalk on Chestnut, the Chamber's annual Women's Expo, and numerous other events. The Woolen Mill actively participates in First Fridays and Second Saturdays and continues to look for more ways to support Meadville and surrounding communities on a regular basis. Not only in this category, but in the rest of the categories, I have to mention, just like in the last few years, there are a couple categories that there is only 1 point difference in the winner and the next person. So every person that is nominated this year, you are in a great category with your peers. There are people, individuals, nonprofits, small, mid-sized, large businesses. You are doing some great things in our community, and I thank you for that. And I know that the people that read and judged these things really appreciated reading what each and every one of you did. And these were very, very tough decisions. Some of them, again, 1 point difference. But without further ado, the winner of our new category and the new business in this year, Foundry Co-work. Please help me welcome Heather Fish.
Oh, wow. I had some really incredible competition, so I really wasn't expecting to win. But I really couldn't do this without the Meadville community and everything that I've gotten from this space and the people that I know and the local businesses. So just thank you so much.
The next category is Emerging Leader, and the Emerging Leaders of the Year from the past, if you could please stand if you are here. We have Dan Simonson from Northwest Savings Bank, Ty Crespin from Crespin and Erdy, Christian Marr from Crawford Heritage Community Foundation, Dan Williams from Cox and Kaniak Electric, Tim Geibel from CATA, Elizabeth Smith from Accutech Precision Aerospace, Brandon Huff from Tech Molded Plastics, Ann Knott from the Crawford County READ program, Mike Fields from Accutech Precision Aerospace, Amy Spitzer from Ryan Warren Funeral Home. Congratulations to all these people for being past winners. And Amy Spitzer could not be here, so I will read the Emerging Leaders of the Year. And the first one is Heather Fish. A native of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Heather moved to Meadville to attend Allegheny College and has decided to make Meadville her hometown. While at Allegheny, Heather was a community service leader at Women's Services through the Bonner program. She also participated in a global service program in Bolivia, serving as a founding member of the Allegheny Community Engagement Student Fellowship and volunteered regularly through multiple other channels. Since graduation, Heather has served multiple nonprofits, leads the Second Saturday Community Market, and has recently taken on the role of small business owner and entrepreneur with the debut of Foundry Cowork. Next, we have Kirsten Martin. Since moving to Meadville in 2013, Kirsten Martin has been involved in the community in many ways. She serves on the Meadville Market Authority, the Second Saturday Community Market Board, as well as the Meadville Shade Tree Commission. She's coordinated the creation of the Mart Community Garden, developed a mobile farmers market, coordinated the development of an online food hub, and has helped to lead the Grow Meadville Garden Initiative. Finally, she has authored several grants, which has provided over $95,000 in funding for our area. And actually, Heather, if you could stand, and Kirsten, if you could stand. And then next we have Rachel Verno, if you could stand as well. Rachel is a Meadville native who works for Accutech Precision Aerospace. Through her work, she's involved in the community through outreach. She attends mock interviews, career days, lunch and learns, after-school events, K-12 Alliance, career fairs, and more. Additionally, Rachel is involved in the Meadville Area Recreation Foundation, where she serves as vice chairman and the marketing lead, where they raise monies for the functioning of the Meadville Area Recreation Complex. Thank you, ladies, for all that you do for our community. And I believe all three of you are Allegheny College graduates, are you not? 2 out of 3.
Meadville graduates.
And 2 out of 3 leadership.
Just
Meadville
saying.
graduates,
I'm just saying.
Marlene's. Absolutely.
Proud mama.
Please help me welcome our 2018 Emerging Leader of the Year, Kirsten Martin of Allegheny College. Anyone else who wins, they're not attached.
Thank you so much. This is a great honor, and I just want to say Meadville is an amazing community, and there's so much going on here, and so much has happened here, and I just see a lot of potential, so I'm really excited. Thank you.
We'll have Mike Fields from Accutech Precision Aerospace come forward, and he will read all of the nominees for the Emerging Leader.
It's hard to get up here. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have the honor of presenting the nominees for the Male Emerging Leader 2018. The first nominee is Dave Astry. Dave has been involved with many community organizations, including Crawford Area Young Chamber of Commerce, the United Way, Big Brothers and Sisters, the Mark, Junior Achievement, and more. This is his 4th year as president of the KCs, where he's helped to raise over $25,000 for local nonprofit organizations. He volunteers for the United Way on Make a Difference Day. He has Bold for Kids' Sake with Big Brothers and Sisters, and has assisted planning of the Mark Family Festival. He is also an active chamber board member and ambassador. Dave is an incredible community member who is especially active with the youth in our area. And Dave, you probably should stand up. I'm not sure where he is. He's not here? Okay, he's not here. Congratulations when you see him. So, the next nominee is Matteo Rashaki. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But Matteo is part owner of Voodoo Brewery, where he fearlessly leads his fellow employee owners in an aggressive and ever-changing craft beer market. He does all this while remaining philanthropically involved with countless organizations. Matteo and his team contribute or sponsor literally hundreds of events in the community, including the annual Mark fundraiser. In addition to the local work Matteo does, he is also an active member of his parish in Crossingville, through which he participates frequently in Habitat for Humanity. Matteo travels worldwide promoting Meadville and Voodoo. He and his team are expanding the Voodoo label and bettering our community, while also contributing to those in need along the way. The last nominee is Travis Kreitzer. After returning to the Linesville area in 2017 from the Washington, D.C. area, Travis opened and is operating a floral and gift shop called Blossoms and Blooms Boutique. Travis is very active in the community. He is president and founding member of the Linesville Community Business Alliance, board member of the Henrietta Memorial Library, and was appointed to the Planning Commission of Summit Township, and is a mentor at Conneaut Area High School, just to name a few. Travis lived in our nation's capital for over a decade, and from that experience, he has learned what it takes to make a difference in a community like ours, where he will continue advocating for a better tomorrow. Please join me in welcoming your 2008 Emerging Leader, Matteo Rashaki.
Yes, 2 pieces. Here, get a picture. Taking bets.
It's the mic toss where you get messed up, just so everybody knows. It's a 2-piece award. Again, a great company. Every year, it's incredible what's going on in our community and all the startups and all the businesses and everything everybody's doing. It's incredible in a community like ours and what is really happening. And to receive an award like this, thank you everyone who had their part in it. Up to 76 employee owners, comfortably situated right by the bar back there at the table. This is impossible without the hard work and dedication of every single person in our organization, constantly out doing these events and coordinating deliveries of beers and gift packages and baskets and all kinds of things. We would not be here without the support of our community. I tell the story all the time, and I won't take up too much time, but it's an interesting story. The weekend we opened the pub on Arch Street, it was like a all-in situation. We were involved with the EPAC and RDA, and it was kind of like our last-ditch effort to make this thing happen. And I remember I took our last $76 out of our checking account to make change to put in the cash drawer for the weekend. And the entire community came and supported and continues to come and support our pubs, now 5 across Pennsylvania on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, which we are just so eternally grateful for. And we would not be here without the support of each and every one of you. So thank you very much.
And next we have our nonprofits of the year. Although the nonprofit community in the greater Meadville area is a thriving one, it's rare for them to receive recognition for the magnificent work they do for the people of Crawford County. From cultural and the arts, to human services, to environmental conservation, these organizations complete a plethora of projects for the betterment of our area while doing so on ever-tightening budgets. The Chamber gives awards to 2 nonprofits each year, one with an annual operating budget of under $500,000, and one with a budget exceeding this amount. The small nonprofits of the year have been the Academy Theater, Crawford County Read Program, Meadville Medical Center Foundation. And at this time, please help me welcome Don Roden from the Meadville Medical Center Foundation to read about the nominees for this year. I know you have the largest category one. You probably need that information.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. Sorry.
Good evening. Crawford County Historical Society. Even though the Crawford County Historical Society was founded in 1880, the last 5 years has shown the community just how much they have to offer. Looking at the Society's business model, the board has invested in purchasing the Tar Mansion on Diamond Park. This move serves to help maintain the historic character of Meadville's downtown, to attract visitors and new residents, as well as provide a self-sustaining business model for the Historic Society's research facility. Once the remainder of the needed community support is raised for the completion of this project, the rental income from 8 apartments will sustain the building's ongoing expenses, allowing it to become the model for historic preservation, making economic sense in our downtown area. Please stand, by the way. Dog House Student Credit Union and School Store. Please stand. Dog House Student Credit Union and School Store had done amazing things for our area's youth, our young people recently, moving the credit union model into a functioning in-school branch for student use and employment, providing valuable soft skills and job interview practice. Students applied to be part of this school credit union branch and participate in an interview. They then work with other students as well as learn skills in business management, marketing, community involvement, and the list continues. This valuable resource helps prepare our students through a fun and exciting means, making them better prepared for the road ahead. Keystone Blind Association. Are they here? Oh, in the back. Keystone Blind Association provides support services to help those with visual impairments stay in their homes independently as long as possible. To that end, qualifying individuals can receive a no-cost transportation to appointments and other errands, assistance reading, mail, completing applications, and receive access to valuable support groups and life skill programs. Keystone offers a major educational component with training to life, along with sight impairment offerings, technology, and even visual rehabilitation training. They work with all ages to give new life to those worried they'll be shut out in our world. Meadville Area Recreation Foundation. The Meadville Area Recreation Foundation is a nonprofit arm of our local recreation authority, maintaining a public pool, ice arena, and a plethora of outdoor activities for our community. This 14-member board of directors have the common goal of strengthening the mark for local enjoyment. As you may have seen in local news, the chillers for the ice arena were in desperate need of replacement. The MARF stepped in and began raising funds immediately, receiving a $200,000 grant and raising the funds to match. This group organizes fundraisers, collects donations, and otherwise assists in maintaining and constantly improving the MARC facilities for generations of citizens to enjoy. Congratulations to you all. Please join me in welcoming the 2018 Small Nonprofit Business of the Year, the Meadville Recreation Foundation, and Jack Holmes.
I was egged on by our tables.
Absolutely. And we got our guy.
Okay, we're done.
One more? One more?
I know you want to say a few words.
I did that on purpose.
Jack's never turned on a microphone.
Let me just say a couple quick things. And the other small not-for-profits, hang in there. You do great work. Your time is coming. There's a few people I want to mention real quick in conjunction with this, and I just want to say a couple of very quick things. We're all aware of the time. The Mark was in a very bad place in 2013. Many of you were probably at the same meeting I was at in the basement of the church, trying to find a way forward. The model we had that worked successfully for 40 some odd years just wasn't working anymore. There's no villains in this, it's just the way it is. The community's changed substantially. I'd like to have hats off to people that even aren't here, like Doug Lang, who provided the leadership at that point in time, to provide the CAT team with some backbone and a way forward. And folks like Jay Verna, who stepped on the Mark Maris side of it to breathe life into what was happening and provide a new way. There's several of you guys that are on our board that are here. I'd like to read the names. If you could just stand up real quick so folks know who you are. Myself as the chair, Rachel, Vice Chairman, Rachel Verna. Please stand up, Rachel. Oh, okay. Hey. All right, we get it. Ryan DeArmond, he's our Secretary Treasurer. Chris Anderson. Chris, could you stand up, please? Thank you. Dick Astor, who we had to convince to come here this evening. That's not true. Tony Frazina, Tony Lang, Don Roden is on our board and provided some guidance in terms of how we should be functioning as a foundation. Kenny Johnson, could you please stand? Rick York, I don't believe is here, from Westbury. And we have members that attend. We have one member that has been on the board for a very long time, Benny Watson. I don't believe he's here tonight. And I'd like to, again, say Jay Verna, who crossed both the Mara and the MARF board. And the only thing I would add to this is two things quite quickly, is the fact that we are just beginning. We have a vision, a very ambitious board. Events, I'm going to plug, we're all going to plug like hell. June 9th, please come to our barbecue event, our music festival. Fantastic day. We expect to see you all there and your family. And I'd also like to say thank you to Lee Scandinero. We were not only rudderless, we didn't have any hands to do anything at the time, so the addition of Lee Scandinero as our staff person was absolutely instrumental in terms of the way forward. He provided a great rudder for our organization. I want to thank you personally for what you've done. Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
And our large nonprofit of the year past winners are Bethesda Children's Home, Active Aging, and Westbury. And at this time, we'll have Larry Marsteller come up to announce the nominees for this year.
Before I read this, I just wanted to say how when I was asked to go down and score these, the meeting was not thought to be that exciting, and I wasn't, not that I wasn't looking forward to it, but you know, I went down there and I was not only that interested to read all about all these nominees and the exciting things going on in Meadville, but I was the last one to leave. And before I left, the automatic lights actually went out on me because I was so focused on reading all of these things. So congratulations. What's that?
And they're so long.
Yeah. So anyways, congratulations to all the nominees. A lot of great things happening. So for a large nonprofit, we'll start out with Calvary Baptist Christian Academy. In a time when Christian schools are shrinking and closing, Calvary Baptist Christian Academy is not only surviving, but it's thriving. Enrollment in the last 8 years has gone from 150 to over 200 students in K through 12 and over 40 students in the preschool. Calvary and its staff are committed to the community through service and engagement. For example, 3 staff members and an alumnus have participated in the Leadership Meadville program. Not only is the staff active in the community, but Calvary has its students participate and engage with our town as well. This year, the annual Serve-a-thon, students will serve within a radius of 50 miles around Meadville and will assist organizations like the Crawford County Care Center, Juniper Village, and the Meadville Area Recreation Complex. Calvary boasts many white and blue collar alumni that have stayed in Meadville or have moved to other states and even other nations. Therefore, Calvary has truly made an impact in the community as well as around the world, proving their mission statement, which is to educate students who will serve God and impact the world through biblical thought and action. That's Calvary Baptist. Will somebody stand for me? Thank you. The next, Crawford County Drug and Alcohol Executive Commission. Since its inception in 1973, Crawford County Drug and Alcohol Executive Commission, Incorporated, has been widely recognized by its ability to surmount difficulties with funding and find creative ways to incorporate new requirements from oversight and deliver a quality, client-friendly product to the community. As a single county authority, the agency oversees the management of funding of Crawford County's drug and alcohol funds in order to provide services without restrictions to the Crawford County residents. Matching our clients' needs within the services they require are paramount to their mission. In addition to not only providing funding to residents who require assistance in addressing their drug and alcohol issues, the Commission has several programs to address the needs of the community as a whole. Some of these programs include prevention and intervention, outpatient treatments, case management, and central intake. Overall, the CCDAEC provides a wide array of programming to address the ever-growing problem our county has with drugs and alcohol, and will continue to make a sizable impact on the community. Next is Women's Services. Women's Services is a long-standing nonprofit in Meadville with a bolder approach to their mission. Rather than purely acting as a regulatory and last resort option to those in need, Women's Services has transformed themselves into a generative and preventative agency seeking to educate and fight the causes of violence. Acting as an educational partner to create self-sufficiency with those they serve, they are breaking the cycle of those in trouble to allow them to better avoid returning to abusive relationships. This organization has become a pillar of the community, and although already well regarded, they have become a local force bringing about great things in our area under their current leadership. Please join me in welcoming your 2018 Large Nonprofit Business of the Year, Women's Services. Rob Smith and Susan Lykoff will thank the floor. Our board members attending and may come up and accept.
doing this first?
Yeah, you got it.
Before I pass the mic to Sue, Rob Smith refused to get up here, so I'm in his stead, Megan Preston on the Board of Women's Services.
And I'm Sue Wyckoff, also on the Board of Women's Services, and Rob thought it would be prudent if he remained seated. So thank you, Rob. Okay, thank you so much. This is our 40th anniversary. I don't know if you can even believe that. And while we would love to say that we weren't needed anymore, the truth is that we are. And so in 1978, when we started, a homeless woman walked through a snowstorm in January and became the first guest to walk through our doors. And we have not closed our doors since. So that's really awesome for us. And I'm gonna just do a little bit of notes, and I made them in really big print. We haven't closed our doors, and back then, we were very happily and healthily and heavily supported by everyone locally, and that was wonderful. But what has driven us to become the large nonprofit of the year is our budgetary needs and the needs of our community, our extended community. And so our budget is now exceeding $1 million a year. And so we now gratefully accept state and federal funding, in addition to everyone here who supports us so heavily and so generously, and we are so grateful. Sorry. It means a lot to me. And so in terms of staying viable and relevant and continuing to extend our mission throughout Meadville and Crawford County, we have started doing some pretty non-traditional types of things. And so we don't want to compete with any organizations. We want to partner with them. We want to collaborate. We believe that collaborating with other organizations, other individuals, is going to make us stronger and help us have a broader reach. And Megan is going to talk a little bit about how that works for us. So, you know, from my perspective, you all are amazing, and we are so grateful for your support, and we hope it continues.
So briefly, in the overview, you heard Women's Services' mission to create a violence-free Crawford County. The way Women's Services does that in particular is not only offering shelter for those who need it, but also through counseling, through prevention programs, and through advocacy. And so, but that vision is quite big, right? We cannot do it without the partnership of people in this room, the leadership of people in this room, your volunteer hours, your time, your talents, your service on other nonprofits working alongside us to realize that vision. And so again, just deeply grateful for the support in this room. When I joined the board last year, Bruce told me that I would be astounded by the depth of support for women's services in our community, and I am every day. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
And now we will move on to our businesses of the year. Each year, the Chamber recognizes 3 businesses in our region for the significant work that they do, not only to stay competitive, but also to the many initiatives and projects they do to support our communities. While staying on the forefront of their individual industry sector, the owners and employees of these businesses operate and work at businesses here. They live and raise or have raised families in northwestern Pennsylvania. They're leaving a mark through their businesses that represent the values they want to see held by our region as a whole. They're giving back to local communities monetarily and with their time, volunteering on a variety of projects to better our towns. The small businesses of the year in previous years are Meadville Area Federal Credit Union, now One Federal Credit Union, Fine Print Commercial Printers, Bush Investment Group, Hagen Business Machines of Meadville, Erie Bank, Family to Family Home Healthcare, Voodoo Brewery, and last year, Cobblestone Cottage and Gardens. So please help me welcome Dan Hunter from Cobblestone Cottage. Happy birthday to Dan today. We threw a party for you, Dan. We hope you had a Voodoo beer to celebrate. So Dan will read all of the nominees and announce this year's winner.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming to my party. Hey, my name is Dan Hunter, and I'm an enthusiastic member of the small business community of the city of Meadville. The small business this year is Blooming Valley Landscape and Supply. It was just 9 years ago that the Blooming Valley Landscape and Supply got its start. Jason and Deanna Oles were working out of one small room in their house with their equipment and labor force at another location. 1 year after its inception, they constructed their new and current location on Route 77 in Meadville. Their company has grown significantly since its beginning, but they've always remembered their most valuable asset, the customer. They are always learning and striving to be better for their customers and therefore their community. Jason and Deanna recognize the value in cooperating with the community on efforts like MASH Band Boosters, Arbor Day, Crawford County Youth Soccer Association, Pink Days in Bloom, and Leadership Meadville. They recognize that investing in the community means investing in a better future for not just their family, but for all the families in the county. Cool 101.7 is our local radio station bringing you news, sports, politics, weather, music, and so much more daily. Cool 101.7 is community-oriented with their programming reflecting this. They support local, I like you, Susan, a lot. You're a great person. Chamber of Commerce, local business, our schools, and so many more organizations. On any given day, tuning in will result in being informed of weekly events, road closing information, Chamber of Commerce, of other nonprofit information, and numerous local recorded programs. They position themselves as a liaison between community events such as Thunder in the City or Meadville's Christmas tree lighting and the community that might not have the opportunity to attend. Cool 101.7 serves as Western Crawford County's eyes and ears. Starn Marketing. Starn Marketing is closing on 20 years of serving the community in their design, marketing, and advertising needs. With the backing of the Starn family and companies, they have a reputation for service, and under the leadership of Kim Flynn, the ability to deliver great things for business of all sizes, Starn Marketing Group has been a major benefactor of the nonprofit community for nearly 2 decades. It is active with the MARC, the Chamber, NTMA, and more. Starn Marketing has been a key player in the MARC Caribbean, Thunder in the City, Robobots, and the NTMA's Blue Collar Bash. They are positioned to be a valuable community asset for years to come. Please join me in welcoming your 2018 Small Business of the Year, Starn Marketing Group, Kim Flynn Merkel.
Two hands.
My hair.
All right. What do we have here? Thanks, everyone. I'm actually very surprised against Blooming Valley. Cool 101.7. You've heard my husband and his cheers for me, and I'll do a selfless plug for him. 6 to 9 a.m. on Cool 101.7. Please listen to his show. Thank you so much to everyone, my staff. My creative staff is awesome. We obviously love what we do. Most importantly, though, thank you to the Chamber of Commerce, because Pete and I were talking about this last night, and that's probably one of the best things our business did is join the Chamber. We didn't have a lot of money, advertising dollars, when we started. Sorry, Victoria. So the first thing we did is join the Chamber. And that's what I tell our clients when we meet them, new clients, current clients, are you a member of the Chamber? And people say, what's the Chamber going to do for us? I'm like, well, the Chamber can provide a lot of resources. It's how can you take advantage of those resources? And that's the first thing we did. We joined the Chamber. We go to every single event that we can. We got involved, and that's the most important thing that you can do. So thanks to the Chamber for our success. Thanks, Krista.
We actually added this next category a couple years ago because it was not really fair comparing some of the smaller and larger businesses, so we added a mid-size category. So the winners have been Cannon's Chop House and then Kuhn Tool and Die last year. So as Ken Kuhn comes forward, he will read the nominees for this year.
Okay, so as the mid-sized business, if you could, if a representative could stand as I call it, or read their list here. First of all is Interim Healthcare, back in the corner there. For over 50 years, Interim Healthcare has provided loved ones with compassionate and professional healthcare. Interim Healthcare sustains 18% growth while maintaining a 4.5-star CMS rating from Medicare and a 5-star quality rating from Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield for all quarters in 2017. This is a huge feat and not one that is easily obtained. This level of accomplishment speaks to the dedicated and hardworking staff that provides excellent care to patients at Interim Healthcare. Interim Healthcare is also civically involved with many organizations without our community and is an active member of the Chamber of Commerce. Interim Healthcare. The next organization is the Meadville Tribune. Meadville Tribune continues to serve as a watchdog for the community and as a comprehensive news source for Crawford County and surrounding communities. They highlight news, sports, community events, and more. The Tribune reached new heights in 2017 in an industry that is constantly changing, where they are utilizing multiple digital interfaces in order to obtain maximum exposure. In addition to bringing news, they also give back to the community. The Tribune continues to support Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest Pennsylvania, where in 2017 they collected more than $11,000 and almost 8,800 pounds of food. Additionally, the Tribune partnered with area grocery stores to collect food for the Center for Family Services, where on average they collected 1,000 pounds of food yearly over the past 4 years. The Meadville Tribune. Then we have the One Federal Credit Union. One Federal Credit Union has been a staple in Crawford County community for 69 years. They expanded their offices into Cochrane and in Sharpsville, tapping into underserved population, while simultaneously increasing their asset size from 54 to 78 million. The credit union is not only growing in size, they also increasing their involvement in the community. In 2009, the One Federal Credit Union started the Community Link program, which is the program that benefits from all the fundraising efforts. Throughout that program, they have been able to donate over $110,000 to local charities, organizations, and schools. In addition to the monetary support, the Community Link program provides the One Federal Credit Union volunteers at communities like events like the Crawford County Special Olympics. That's One Federal Credit Union. The last group in this category is Palmero Toyota. Palmero Toyota has been in operation since 1981, where they seek to provide excellent service on a regular basis. Palmero Toyota is proud of all its accomplishments this past year. The dealership received the prestigious President's Award from Toyota for dealership and excellence in customer satisfaction for the 32nd consecutive year. This achievement is shared by only 3 other Toyota dealerships in the nation. Palmero is continuously looking for ways to give back to the community by being involved in local charities, organizations, and utilizing the services and specialties of other local businesses. Following the devastation of Hurricane Irma, Palmero was a dedicated donation drop point for aid. They also a designated donation point for Toys for Tots in December. This was the 8th year for Palmero Give Back program, where they gave $5,000 to 3 different charities. Palmero felt that all the charities that participated in the Give Back program were deserving of a donation. Therefore, more than $30,000 was awarded to local charities, adding to the 8-year total of more than $130,000 in donation. Please join me in welcoming your 2018 Mid-Sized Business of the Year, Palmero Toyota.
Okay, 2 pieces, 2 pieces.
Thank you. We're so blessed right now. Thank you so much. I cannot tell you what this means to Palmero Toyota. The wonderful thing is that all of you in the room have supported us through the years, and it allows us to do the things we do. And from Mike, Brian, and I, and our families, and everyone at Palmero Toyota, thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for honoring us with the nomination. I'm just thrilled right now, as you can tell. And we just really appreciate everything that everyone does. The programs that you're now bringing through the schools to get us great employees, to get different people, everything that everyone does here, we're so proud to be part of the Meadville community, and we're going to continue to give back every single way that we can. And so we want to encourage anybody for the Give Back program this year. We're opening again in October. It'll be our 9th annual, but thank you, thank you, thank you.
And the large businesses in the year and over the years have been Universal Well Services, C&J Industries, Accutech Precision Aerospace, Channellock, Tech Molded Plastics, Ainsworth Pet Nutrition, New Tech Tooling System, and Ernst Conservation Seeds. So please help me welcome Who's here? Randy? Randy's here?
I'm here.
You're here. Just stick it in there.
Thank you, Krista. On behalf of Calvin Ernst and the Ernst family and everybody at Ernst Seeds, I want to congratulate all our nominees this year. And you'll have to bear with me. I'm not in the habit of carrying my readers with me that I need these days, and it's getting late in the evening, so my eyes start getting tired. But I will start off with our first nominee, Armstrong, a name everybody's familiar with. Since its conception in 1967, Armstrong has delivered hundreds of hours of programming to our community, including but not limited to school board and select government meetings, business events, local original productions, local musicians, local sports, medical topics, and more. Their coverage of parades, fairs, concerts, live sports, and more add to their competitive hometown advantage and prove their love of the community. Armstrong's mission includes being a worthy corporate citizen with major sponsorships doled out to many institutions and their activities. These nonprofits include the YMCA, the Meadville Area Recreational Complex, the Academy Theater, the Thurston Classic, the Chamber of Commerce, and numerous other organizations which Armstrong feels are vital to the health of the community. Strong management, fiscal responsibility, careful planning, and diligent research are the hallmarks of Armstrong, which bolsters the mission statement of their founder, growth and perpetuity. Armstrong Cable. Our second nominee is Seco Warwick. In existence as a corporate entity since 1984, Seco Warwick designs, manufactures, and services industrial heat treating furnaces from around the world. They don't just provide services regarding heat treating furnaces, but they are civically engaged and are an integral part of the Meadville community as they sponsor many events and programs. Seco Warwick is involved with Judas Jig, the French Creek Cleanup, Chili Chowder and Soup Cook-Off, and Leadership Meadville, to name a few. However, Seco Warwick feels it is not the products they design or manufacture, nor is it the significant corporate sponsored activities in which they engage. They feel their value is in their employees, whom they allow and encourage to contribute to the community in 1,000 small ways all year long. Seco Warwick. Our final nominee for Large Business of the Year is Vantage. Vantage has been providing services to the community since 1984. They provide vast amounts of medically related services to our community and have been able to employ more than 300 employees at their corporate headquarters located in the newly renovated historic Talon Building on South Main Street. Vantage has given back to the community in several ways over the past 34 years as a continued sponsor of numerous local events, several adult and youth athletic programs, and volunteer work throughout the community. Specifically, Vantage has served the Meadville Area Recreation Foundation and are matching donations of up to $20,000. Additionally, Vantage has many employees who hold positions on several community boards, like the Human Resources Committee, Crawford County Active Aging Advisory Board, and the Laurel Technical Institute Board of Directors. Vantage is very active in our community, and I've listed but a few of their community-based efforts. Yet, Vantage has made one thing clear. They are determined to make a positive and lasting impact on Crawford County. Let's hear it for Vantage. Please join me in welcoming your 2018 Large Business of the Year, Armstrong. I understand Scott Brush will be joining us up here. That's the name I have, Scott Brush.
No, Scott's not here.
Keith, go.
Two pieces. Where are you from? I've got it. Where are you from?
Armstrong.
Picture first. One, two.
Nice getting on pretty good. I'm sure the people that are up here are still going to make a beeline to the bathroom pretty quick. But seriously, thank you so much. I feel very blessed to work for a company that shares our ideology and philosophy of being a good corporate citizen. I was hired 30 plus years ago by the Barco family, and they were very dedicated to this, and Armstrong continues that legacy. So I am actually paid to do what I love to do. Thank you.
Party in the house.
At this time, I would like to introduce Gary Elizio from the Schaefer Law Firm and Cornell Lassane from Allegheny College for our Raymond P. Schaefer Award for Distinguished Community Service.
Thanks. Our inbox at work is lighting up, and you all are much funnier than I knew. Raymond Schaefer was a person who truly benefited from a great education, and he never forgot that. He was valedictorian at Meadville High School, went to Allegheny, graduated Phi Beta Kappa, and then he went to Yale Law School where he met William Scranton and future President Gerald Ford, who literally dragged him into politics. When he became governor, he became a huge proponent of education. And he actually went so far as to increase the budget for education in our state for primary and secondary schools 70-something%, and for higher education over 47%. And then he had to figure out how to pay for that. And he was the governor that proposed the first state income tax in Pennsylvania, which you can imagine didn't make him that popular that week as a Republican governor. But the point is that education was super important to him, and I can only imagine that he would be very happy that our award recipient is a person who has spent decades, Dr. Dixon, dedicated to improving education in Crawford County. I only had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Dixon in person tonight, but I have had a chance as part of this committee to read an awful lot about what other people who know her very well have said. And I just want to share one quote from one of her board members who spoke at her retirement from the READ program last year. And this is what that person had to say, and I'll read it for Marlene. Under your leadership, Dr. Dixon, I have been nudged into places I did not want to go, and I was uncomfortable. But in doing so, I grew professionally and personally, and I want to say thank you for that. And I thought that was a wonderful testament to Dr. Dixon. And with that, I'll turn it over to my friend Cornell Lassane, who'll speak more about Dr. Dixon.
Good evening. I'm going to try that one more time. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. You know this is a special award when it takes two people to recognize, someone who's done such amazing work. And so I do have prepared remarks because there's just so much good to share. But before I do that, I have to say, coming from a newcomer to this area, what a special event. What special people, what a special place. And you should all be extremely proud to be part of this community here in Meadville. That is coming from someone who's lived in a number of different states, another country, and just feels like, I'll quote some of our students and parents at Allegheny, just feels like home. So thank you for allowing me to take this moment to share that. So, a little bit about our honoree. Dr. Armindia Pierce Dixon joined our community upon marrying Meadville native Harrison Dixon Jr. in the early 1970s, not hesitating to immediately find her niche in efforts to make our area a better place. Almost since the day she arrived in Meadville, she became involved in the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Fund, even helping raise funds to permanently endow the program. Within a short time of moving to Meadville, she also served on the city's Bicentennial Committee, receiving an award for her service from then Mayor James DeMaria. The committee's work produced our town colors, logo, and statement of core values. A time capsule was dedicated in Diamond Park as part of the bicentennial activities to be opened in 2038. It will be here before we know it. She insisted to her children and grandchildren, "I want you to be here when it is opened." Dr. Dixon has devoted her life to the education of our region's youth, first as a teacher, then a professor, and finally as a coordinator of multiple programs to enrich our region. She has touched the lives of students throughout Crawford County and Erie counties for decades, both inside and outside the classroom. In the 1980s, she developed the Meadville Latchkey program, assisting in the success and growth of children while their parents were at work. Something that began as an after-school support soon grew to include full-day component to fulfill a need in the community. This service evolved into the YMCA after-school summer program, still operating today under the same guidelines set up at its inception. Wow, impressive. Even in her professional capacities, Armindia has consistently gone above and beyond what would be required from her in every post she has held. From organizing a congratulatory celebration for a recently naturalized student citizen in her department at Edinburgh University, to orchestrating major fundraisers to ensure programs at Crawford County Reed will be sustained. She lives an example of leadership for those around her. In 2010, Armindia founded the Martin Luther King Jr. Mentoring Program, an after-school opportunity to assist students at Meadville Area Middle School in fostering academic achievement, personal growth, and appreciation of the rich resources found in our area. The program works closely with such cultural hubs as the Academy Theater, Baldwin Reynolds House, Johnson Shaw Stereoscopic Museum, Pymatuming National Park, and many others to increase the awareness of and love for the wonderful assets in our backyard. One of the program's first mentees is now a neurosurgery major at Allegheny College. Armindia served as the program's first director and still trains mentors to do this great work. Most recently, Armindia coordinated the beloved community an open house through the MLK program for Crawford Central County students to witness what resources are in our area. Over 50 agencies, businesses, and nonprofits were showcased while hundreds of students and parents were able to see firsthand what our wonderful city and county has to offer. My wife and son benefited from that event, so thank you. Armindia has held deep love for Meadville and Crawford County, one apparent to anyone who has worked with her. Colleagues, Joe Galbo states, the term community treasure is often overused, but with Armindia, there is no doubt in my mind that it is an apt description. Wow, impressive. Armindia's love for her adopted hometown and our region's youth spans decades and generations. Without her guidance and leadership, countless residents, and quite possibly even some in this room, may have experienced a very different future. Although her accomplishments are far too extensive to list this evening in their entirety, it is through her wisdom and leadership that every one of us has been touched in some way, be it through the programs our children are involved in, the academic support we received at one of our local universities, a walk through our beautiful Diamond Park, or the exposure she has helped provide our local nonprofits and cultural institutions. Armindia has truly been a pillar of our community since her arrival, and we are elated to add her to the list of inspirational individuals honored through this very prestigious award. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing Dr. Armindia Pierce Dixon as the recipient of the 2018 Governor Raven P. Schaefer Award.
Good evening, and congratulations to all the recipients of the Diamond Awards and to those who were nominated. What an honor. It was really wonderful to see one of our mentors from the Dr. Martin Luther King mentoring program receive an award, the Lou Davies Award. So it's a great night. I would like to thank Allegheny College, the Schaefer Law Firm, and the Meadville, Western Crawford County Chamber of Commerce for selecting me as a recipient of the 2018 Raymond P. Schaefer Award for Distinguished Community Service. It has been a blessing to receive your many cards, emails, and flowers. Mrs. Krista Lundy, Executive Director of the Meadville Western Crawford County Chamber of Commerce, and to the Board of Directors of the Chamber, and to each person here tonight, I am blessed to be in your company, the company of so many who have inspired me and shaped my philosophy of community. In particular, I wish to acknowledge one who is not at my guest tables tonight, my son Harrison, who traveled from Virginia Beach on Thursday of last week to congratulate me on the award and to tell me the news that he could not be here because he has been assigned to special training that started on Monday. The guests who are with me tonight and seated at different tables are my granddaughter, Jada Dixon. You know, we always say about our children and grandchildren, they are beautiful and talented. Well, Jada is beautiful and talented. Reverend Sarah Roncalata, pastor of Stone Church, where I've been a member for over 30 years, and her husband, Dr. Dave Roncalata. You know, we are longtime friends and partners in so many projects. Mayor Leroy Stearns, the longest serving member of Meadville City Council, and of course he follows in the footsteps of so many of our great mayors. We'd like to thank him for creating some memory pieces for my family tonight. Mr. Bruce Whitehair, who recently retired as director of the Advancement Office at Allegheny College. He has been a dear friend and colleague since we first met at Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania. We couldn't wait to work together again when he got to Allegheny. He's always been about helping others. And I'd like to thank you, Mr. Lassane, and your wife, Arita. Mrs. Barbara Bento Rosenbaum of Cranberry Township, and Mrs. Sarah Gabble Agnew of Meadville. I was their English teacher and drama and forensics coach at the junior high school. You know, we've stayed connected through the years via cards, visits, emails, telephone calls, and working together. Reverend Melissa Burnett, who started assisting with our Meadville after-school project success right out of business school. She served on the school board here, and she is on the Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship Fund Board. Mr. Joseph Galbo, Vice President of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Fund, and the Meadville Rotary Club, and so many other things. I first got to know the Galbo family through the matriarch, Mrs. Marion Galbo, who was active in our Crawford Central School Board and Crawford Central Parent Involvement Program. Our friendship has grown and grown. Mrs. Dorothy Chapman, Miss Linda Jens, Mr. Lee McFerrin, and other members of the Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship Board, we're so glad to see you tonight as our guest. You know, we have a lot of fun on that board. We have fun getting to do whatever we can do for our children in Meadville. Osvaldo Mesa and Miguel Guillen are student leaders in the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Mentoring Program, are our guests tonight, and they are definitely getting acquainted with our great community. and they are fine student leaders from Allegheny College. I would like to reach out and give each of you a big hug for the work we have done together, realizing our responsibility to keep Meadville a great city in which to live and raise our children. I have so many beautiful stories about how individuals in this room have impacted my life. I looked at the list of things Dr. Crowley wrote about in the article announcing the recipient of the 2018 Raymond P. Schaefer Award. I can't think of a thing on that list that I did. What I saw very clearly is that the I must come out and the we must go in its place.
Yes. To you.
Thank you. My parents raised 9 siblings and me in our segregated town in Laura, Mississippi. In the midst of hatred, during the heat of the civil rights movement, and in spite of this, there were people, black and white, who didn't hate, who saw all people as sacred individuals. I would not want to change my upbringing. Though difficult to encapsulate, our parents lived and taught us these values. Do your best. Know your rights and accept your responsibilities. Learn about God. You know, we had to go to church all the time. Attend those church classes. Love and respect others. Work together. Learn to get along with others. And get an education. It will be the gateway to opportunities of which you have never dreamed. I brought these internal guideposts with me to Meadville. My family and I didn't end up here accidentally, nor coincidentally. A born and raised in Meadville man and I met in Erie, and we were married after a short courtship. The marriage gave me the claim as a citizen of Meadville, Pennsylvania. Friendships were formed. We raised our son. My colleagues and I worked together in the schools, ensuring that the students achieved at an outstanding level. Parents became involved in their children's education, and teachers and parents worked together. We worked together in the community. We worked together in the churches. The word together was wonderful. I want you to know, however, that the word together is still powerful in Meadville, Pennsylvania. Graphically, we're situated in one of the most scenic places in the state. Our valley is also a cultural mecca. More than this, I have observed that we are coming together to problem solve and to celebrate our accomplishments. Mayor Stern's My Meadville program is pulling us all together, where we are involving the diverse voices that are being heard, and we are each participating in the decision-making process. Going beyond this, I see an even deeper level of involvement. We are getting up from the table and working to make things happen. If we can't work to make things happen, we will be supportive of those who are. We won't have time to complain because we will be busy making a great Meadville even greater. Our lives do affect the lives of others. We can't afford to live for ourselves only. Thank you, Meadville, for including me in this exciting journey of belonging to a community in which I can fully participate alongside you. Participate alongside you in demonstrating my love and concern through service to others. Thank you for not only helping to make Meadville a great community, but also for helping to make Meadville a beloved community. May God bless you always.
Dr. Dixon, as you make your way back to your seat, I have a letter here I'd like to read that your son emailed me because he knew he couldn't be here. And all of these flowers here were here when we arrived today. They are not just decorations, they are flowers for you from various people. So these are going home with you. So, from your son, I wanted to at the very least have these words delivered as an expression of my pride and adoration for my mother. I've often thought to myself that if I could ever become half the man this great woman is, I'd be doing all right. Her countless and tireless hours of devotion towards the community well-being is virtually indescribable. She's led by example on how to treat others, how to achieve personal worth, not through ambitions of monetary wealth, but through sacrifice and selflessness. She embodies the teachings and the practices of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Her passion drives her in ways that are so unique and rare, we, as a society, only capture small snapshots of the impact her footprints leave behind. I have had the blessings to witness so many people, countless people, say to her, or even when she's not there, how grateful they were to have had her help them in some way or another. She's motivated those who have seemed or felt uninspired. She has sacrificed so many personal opportunities for the greater good. She can push you beyond your mental limits and show you how much more you have to offer, give of yourself. She has dedicated a lifetime of service that was committed not for awards, but simply because it is just the right thing to do. Mom, I'm so proud to be your son and to have such a tremendous role model to look to. I pray that God continues to use you to give off his reflection, and congratulations again in your recognition tonight. I'm teary-eyed. Godspeed to you and to all here tonight. Nothing could be any more sincere. I hope someone has Kleenex at that table. So thank you again, everyone, for a wonderful evening. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to Victoria for our photos. Please, all of the award recipients, stay around to get official photographs. Thank you to Jason and Jen and your entire staff. The meal was delicious, and thank you for getting us through everything in record time. I know you got us 310 people through dinner in an hour. Thank you very much. Thank you to Armstrong. Thank you, Kevin, for taping the event as always. Thank you so much. Thank you to Cata for providing that free shuttle to and from. For those of you who didn't know that was there, free shuttle is out there waiting to take you back to the parking lot. Our bartenders, thank you so much to them. They're still out there with beverages for those of you staying around. And congratulations to all of our nominees and to all of our winners. And at this time, I would like to have our Vice President, Marie Phelps, come to adjourn our official meeting. And safe travels home, everyone.
Thank you again for this marvelous attendance. Let's all remember to be cheerleaders and supporters of all of our businesses here in Meadville. And with that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night.